Hello, this is Ivy here. Continuing from the last video I shared on how I use a metadata to link the artwork to the mosaic, which is the NFT I created. Today, I would like to share with you another method, or probably an enhanced method of how to link this digital art to the mosaic and NFT I created. Previously, I only add the statement Dancing Miss Tomato or Dancing Mr. Tomato to the mosaic. Today, I would like to show that how better it would be if we including the hash of the digital art to the mosaic. What is a hash? A hash is basically the outcome where you take a file going through a process with some algorithm, and the outcome will be the hash. And the hash is always in the same length, no matter how big or how small is your file size. Any difference made to the file, even just a small little changes like a dot that you barely can notice by your bare eyes, would result in a totally different hash. Let me just show you how. In order to get the hash of a file, I use this online md5.com. How I'm gonna do it is here I do have 2 copies of this Dancing Miss Tomato file. This one is the original one that I'm going to use, which have this 796 kilobyte in size. What I'm gonna do is just drag this file and put it here. And I'm going to choose the checksum type as SHA-256. They are just different algorithm for you to get the hash. I just prefer to use this one. And here you can see the hash of this file. It starts with EAA and ends with 16B. Now here I do have another file which is a little bit smaller at 744 kilobyte because I cut some of the white space from this file, so it results in a smaller file size. Now if I want to drag this file over here, you can see the hash change, but it keep on with the same length. Just by changing a little bit of this file, it gives a totally different hash. You might not be able to tell by your eyes the little changes of this file, but by the hash, it tells you. Now, I'm just going to use back the original one here. To give more security, I would like to put in the mosaic ID I created for the NFT and hash it again to get a different hash before I tie this to the mosaic. Now how I'm gonna do this is using an extra functions that they have over at this same page. I'm going to copy this hash, paste it over here, and I'm going to add this. See, even if I just enter, and it also changed the hash. And here I'm going to select for SHA-256 as well. Well, SHA-256 is just a more secure one because you can see that like they have more characters over here. Actually, it doesn't matter that which one you would like to select. I just prefer this one. Now, let me just go ahead and get the mosaic ID for the NFT we created earlier on. Now, if you have been following from the previous few videos, you would know that the mosaic ID for the NFT is starting with 14 and end with 5EA. So I'm going to add in this over here, and you can see it changes the hash as well. Let's just go back and delete this. It starts with 5E and end with 29, and if I add in the mosaic ID, not over here. Now even though I put it over on the same line, on different line, you can tell that like it's giving you a different hash. Just that little bit changes give you a different hash. So I prefer to put it on the different lines. So the hash I'm going to use to add informations to the mosaic will be this. Alright, now I have this terminal open and I'm going to add this hash to the mosaic using metadata as well. And I'm gonna do that with the simple CLI. Let's bring up simple CLI. I'm going to use the transactions command with mosaic metadata subcommand calling from the profile that create this mosaic, which is NFTs. I'm gonna add in this sync command as well. It asks me for the password, then it asks me for the hexadecimal of the mosaic, which is this one. I copy it and paste it here, and I need to enter the restricted target address, which is the address of the creator. Let me just go to the wallet that I have already signed in over here, copy the address, paste it over here, and then it asks me what is the key I would like to give for this. If you have watched the previous video, I have already explained the metadata is based on a key value pair. So I'm going to copy this command, open another terminal and paste the command over here. And I'm going to name this string value name of NFT, and the hexadecimal I got is this one. I copied it and paste it over here. Now it asks me for the string value for the key value pair. The value I would like to add for this one is the hash, that is the combinations of the hash from the dancing Miss Tomato and the mosaic ID. Then it asks me for the fee I'm willing to pay. I'm gonna put in 2xym is a normal account, and I check everything is okay. Type S for yes, and the transactions has announced and is now processing. Alright, it says the transaction is confirmed. If you go ahead to the Explorer for this testnet, again, just a reminder, I have been doing this from the testnet, not from the mainnet. So I'm going to go for here, and I would like to check on this mosaic ID. So I copy the ID of the mosaic ID, paste it here and search. It's going to bring up the informations of this mosaic, and I go ahead and check. Yes, here it says that like a new metadata have been added to these transactions. So if I check on the value over here, you see it's the same as the hash I get over here. So now this metadata has been added to the mosaic to indicate that this dancing Miss Tomato is now linked to this mosaic. Alright, this is one of the way. There is another way for us to attach the same informations to the mosaic as well through transfer transactions, which we can do it with the simple wallet. How I'm gonna do that is I'm just gonna go and click at the send over here, where I am going to copy this hash and paste it over here as the message. I do not need to send any XYM, and pay the address of the creator over here, which is also myself. It depends on how the process you want to do it. You can have the person who create the art to send the transactions over to a sync account in order to have all these informations regarding linking the NFT to a digital copy of a work or document for easier search in the future. So it all depends how you want to retrieve the data later on, but here I just would like to send it back to the creators of the mosaic, and I'll just click send. Type my password, and here we can see the transaction is waiting to be confirmed. Rather than checking from the mosaic, I need to go back to check on the recipient address, which is also the creators of this mosaic. So I'm gonna click over here. You can see that the latest transaction that was sent is this one. And if you click on here, the hash information will be the same, which is this one as well. And if you click on this one, the information show will be the same as what you're going to see over here at the wallet, which will tell you the hash that links to the art, which have the mosaic ID in the hash as well. Now in this way, anybody basically can send a transactions to the creator's ID. You do not need to have the permissions from the creators in the metadata. And with this, you can use the simple wallet to do it. You do not need to have to navigate over to the simple CLI to do that. But it has the same problem with the metadata that I described in the previous video as well, where the information from the mosaic can always be updated. Now I have shared with you ways of linking the digital file or digital art with NFT by just sending in the descriptions of the file or by sending in the hash of it. And the reason why using hash is better. More security can be added with more complicated functions. Now, to adhere to the objective of this project is to use simple wallet and not to navigate out of the simple wallet as much as possible in order to create an NFT bidding for it and do the transactions. We will just use a simple way that good enough for us to have the information to tie these two together. Now, I also have shared with you what's the difference of using metadata and sending a transfer transactions to link this digital document or digital art to the NFT. And using simple wallet, transfer transaction seems to be easier because you do not have to navigate out to the simple CLI to do so. However, in a better practice, if we are talking about building a proper applications for NFT creations for the bidding, metadata seems to be better than the transfer transactions, because with metadata, it's easier for us to retrieve the data added to the mosaic. But if you send it through the transfer transactions, you need to comb through all the transactions sent to the designated address. Now, let me detour a little bit to talk about the importance of tying this digital art or any asset that is represented digitally on the blockchain to the mosaic that is used to represent an NFT. Let's take a car for an example. Now we have a car. The car has a chassis number that is unique by itself. And then we have the registrations of the car. And the registration of the car is usually the plate number. So in this document, it will also register the chassis number of the car, and the car, of course, is going to bear the plate number. It's just like this example. The NFT and the digital art each shall bear the information of each other in order to prove that they are linked to each other. And as for the registrations of the car, it is not easy for us to change informations, just like the chassis of the car. To change it without leaving any trace is very difficult. As for changing the plate number, you have to go to the authority to do that. Now, whatever method I have been showing you by using the simple wallet, remember this is an exercise as an example for us to see how, if anybody would like to just do a one go or a simple NFT bidding for any functions they want to do using only the simple wallet. In order to have a more comprehensive and applications for us to be able to bid for NFT or sell NFT a lot more sophisticated function need to be added in. And that is a good sign, which means you have a lot more projects to build. I hope today's sessions give you some idea about the importance of tying the digital art or digital representations of assets to the NFT, and give you some idea about what NFT platform or applications that you would like to build. Care to share about your idea? Talk about it in the comment area or go to my Twitter and discuss about it. That's all for today, and I'll see you next video. Ciao.